A Nissan 370Z can fit 345 section tires under stock fenders. Yes, you heard that right. 345 millimeters of rubber, wider than most supercars without cutting metal. But here's the thing. Get your wheel specs wrong by just 10 millimeters, and you'll be shredding tires on your fenders at highway speeds. I'm diving deep into 370Z wheel fitment today. From factory specs to the absolute limits of what's possible. Whether you want a subtle OEM plus look or you're chasing that aggressive flush stance, I'll show you exactly what fits, what doesn't, and what modifications you'll need. We'll cover bolt patterns, offsets, real-world setups that actually work, tire recommendations, and common mistakes that'll cost you thousands. Plus, I'll share the secret weapon of the Z community for getting your fitment perfect the first time. Let's start with the fundamentals. Every single 370Z from 2009 to 2020 uses the same bolt pattern. 5 by 1 14.3 millimeters. That's 5 lugs with 114.3 MIA spacing. Same as most Japanese performance cars. The center bore is 66.1 millimeters, and your lug nuts are M12 0.25 thread pitch. Get any of these wrong and your wheels simply won't fit. Now here's where it gets interesting. Nissan offered 3 different wheel packages from the factory. Base models came with 18A8 plus 43 offset fronts and 18 by 9 plus 115 rears. Notice that unusually low rear offset pushing the wheels outward. Sport package cars got forged. Raise wheels, 19 by 9 plus 47 front, 19 by 10 plus 30 rear with the big Akabono brakes. But the NISMO, that's where Nissan got aggressive. 19 by 9.5 plus 40 fronts, and 19 by 10.5 plus 23 rears, half an inch wider than sport wheels with lower offsets. Those NISMO Raise wheels weigh just 19.6 pounds up front and 21 pounds in the rear, thanks to forged construction. They wrapped them in 2E45/40 R19 fronts and fat 285/35 R19 rears. That's essentially OEM-approved aggressive fitment. So what are Z owners actually running? After analyzing hundreds of builds, 3 setups dominate the scene. First up, the OEM Plus Flush Staggered setup. This typically means 19 by 9.5, 20 fronts, and 19 by 10.5 plus 15 rears. It's basically NISMO sizing, but with offsets pushed out 15 to 20 millimeters for that perfect flush look. Real-world example. A 370Z on Forgestar wheels running exactly those specs with 255/35 R19 fronts and 305/30 R19 rears. With swift lowering springs, zero rubbing, perfect flush stance. This setup works because it stays within the sweet spot, aggressive enough to look great, conservative enough to daily drive. You can run Volk TE 37s, Graham lights, or budget-friendly options like Iodine or ESR in these sizes. Setup number 2, the Square Performance Setup. Track guys love this. Same size all 4 corners for tire rotation and neutral handling. Common specs are 18 by 10.5 plus 122 all around with 275/40 R18 tires. One build ran Graham Light's 57DR in this exact setup on BC Racing coilovers. The fronts used plug 22 offset, while rears got 12 to compensate for the narrower rear track. Result? Maximum grip, predictable handling, and you can rotate your expensive track tires. The third popular route? Deep concave show wheels. We're talking 20 by 10.5 plus 115 fronts, 20x12 plus 0 rears. Seriously aggressive stuff. A featured build by Kicks Motorsports ran Ferrata FR3 wheels in 20x11.5 rear with mild tire stretch for that show stance. But here's the catch. This isn't bolt-on. You need coilovers, camber adjustment, and likely fender work. It's all about that visual impact. Now let's talk limits. On completely stock fenders with 0 modifications, you max out around 10.5 inches wide up front and 11 inches in the rear. But that requires perfect offset selection. We're talking 19 by 10.5 plus 22 front and 19x11 plus 115 rear as your absolute ceiling. 1 millimeter more aggressive and you're rubbing. Roll your fenders, just bending that inner lip flat, and you gain 5 to 8 millimeters. Now you can run 11-inch rears at plug 5 offset or even 11.5 at 0 offset. One ZU owner fitted work. Meister S1 wheels at 19A11-3 offset with rolled fenders and adjustable camber arms. With the right alignment, he squeezed in 315 section Michelins. The absolute limit? One track-focused Z managed to fit 18-12 plow 27 rears with 345/35 R18 Toyo Proxys RR tires. That required rolled and pulled fenders, Fortunato coilovers with custom spring rates, and significant negative camber. But it worked. 345 section tires on stock body. That's supercar territory. Let's talk rubber. For street performance, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S remains king. Exceptional grip, great wet performance, available in every Z size. Budget conscious? Continental Extreme Contact Sport, or Firestone. Firehawk Indy 500 deliver 80% of the performance at 60% of the price. The Hankook Ventus, Vavis, and Nitto NT555 G2 are popular in the Z community for good reason. They come in wide sizes like 305, 30R19, without breaking the bank. Track rats need 200 treadwear tires. The Bridgestone RE71 RS and Yokohama Advan A052 are the current kings. Massive grip, but they'll wear fast on the street. For dedicated track use, step up to Nitto NT or Toyo Proxys RR. That 345 wide setup I mentioned? It used Proxys RR. Basically racing slicks with just enough tread to be legal. Daily driving in cold weather? You need all seasons. The Michelin Pilot Sport. All Season 4 is phenomenal. Almost summer tire performance above 40 degrees. Continental DWS06 Plus remains the community favorite for true 4-season capability. Pro tip: get a second set of 18-inch wheels with narrow winter tires if you see snow. High-power rear wheel. Drive on summer tires in winter equals disaster. Quick word on spacers. They're useful for fine-tuning fitment, but use them correctly. The 370Z needs hub-centric spacers with that 66.1 mm center bore. H&R, Ibach, Ichiba stick to quality brands. Anything under 5 mm can usually use stock studs. Go thicker, and you need extended studs or bolt-on spacers with their own studs. Here's what matters. Proper thread engagement. You need at least 6 to 8 full turns on your lug nuts. Don't stack spacers. Don't use lug-centric spacers on a hub-centric car unless you enjoy vibrations at 70 miles per hour. And please avoid those cheap eBay spacers. The $50 you save isn't worth a wheel falling off. Suspension changes everything for fitment. Lower your Z 1 inch, standard for most builds, and you gain negative camber. That's actually helpful because it tucks the top of the wheel inward. But you lose upward travel clearance. Lowering springs like Swift Spec R or IBAC drop about an inch and work great with moderate fitments. But aggressive fitments need coilovers. BC Racing, KWV3, Fortunato, they give you height adjustment and stiffer spring rates. Less suspension travel means less chance of rubbing. Plus, many include front camber plates. Combine that with adjustable rear arms from SPL or SPC, and you can dial in exactly the alignment you need for your wheel setup. Critical point: if you're running Sport Package or NISMO with those Akabono brakes, verify wheel clearance. Some 18-inch wheels won't clear those big 4-piston calipers. Work offers different disc profiles: T-disc for maximum brake clearance, A-disc for maximum lip. When ordering custom wheels, always specify you have big brakes. Let me save you from expensive mistakes. First, wrong center bore. The Z needs 66.1 mm. If your aftermarket wheels have a larger bore, most do at 73 mm, use hub-centric rings. $10 rings prevent $1,000 vibration damage. Never run wheels with a smaller bore than 66.1, they physically won't fit. Mistake 2. Buying wheels with wildly wrong offset because they were cheap. That sick deal on 18x10 Pulvosus wheels from an RX-7? They'll poke out 3 inches past your fenders. Do the math first. Use offset calculators. Reference proven fitments. You can always add a small spacer to perfect fitment, But you can't fix wheels that stick out too far without major surgery. Extreme tire stretching, another danger zone. Mild stretch for clearance? Fine. But running 225s on 10.5-inch wheels? You're asking for D-beating. I've seen tires pop off rims mid-corner. The sidewall can't maintain proper bead seal when overstretched. Stay within manufacturer-recommended ranges unless you enjoy roadside tire changes. And please, don't cheap out on wheel quality for a performance car. Those $400 eBay specials might look like Volks, but they're not engineered like Volks. I've seen replica wheels crack from normal street driving. Stick to known brands. Even budget options like ESR or Odin have proven track records. Your wheels are the only thing connecting 3,300 pounds of Z to the pavement. So where do you actually get this stuff done right? Threepiece.us has become the go-to for the Z community. They're not just selling wheels. They're fitment specialists who can build you custom-forged three-piece wheels to your exact specifications. Want 1911 2 plus 117 because plus 15 rubs, but plus 20 is too tucked? They'll make it happen. Beyond custom builds, Three-Piece carries everything from budget-friendly cast wheels to high-end Japanese forged options. The key difference? They provide actual fitment advice. They'll tell you exactly what modifications you need, what will clear your brakes, and what's actually achievable with your goals. Their fitment gallery shows hundreds of real customer builds with full specs. Invaluable research material. Let's look at real builds. Example 1. 2013 370Z on Rota grids. The TE37 replica. Running 19 by 9.5, plumbed Herman 20 and 19 by 10.5. Launi with stretch tires and lowering springs. Total wheel cost? About $10-50. Zero rubbing, flush stance, completely daily drivable. Perfect for someone wanting the look without breaking the bank. Example 2 goes harder. ESR SR06 wheels, 19 by 9.5 plus 122 and 19 by 10.5 plum Journal 22. But now on BC Racing Extreme low coilovers with ISR camber arms. Similar specs to example 1, but the coilovers and alignment parts let them slam it lower while maintaining clearance. Cost goes up. $1,200 for wheels, $1,000 for coils, few hundred for arms, but the stance is absolutely dialed. For the extreme end, 370. Z running Advan GT Beyond wheels. 18 by 10, Mont 2 front with 275 wide tires. 18x12 Pleffen rear with 345 section Toyo RR race tires. This required rolled and pulled fenders, Fortunato coilovers, and serious alignment work. But the result? A Z that can hang with GT3s on track. That's the ceiling of stock body fitment right there. Let's break down the costs. Entry-level flush setup with replica wheels, springs, and tires? About $2,500 total. Mid-level with flow-formed wheels, coilovers, and alignment parts? You're looking at $500. Want that extreme stance with custom three-piece wheels and all the supporting mods? Budget $8,000 to $10,000. But here's the thing. Done right, proper wheels and suspension completely transform your Z. The safe bet for most people? Start with 19 by 9.5 plus 20 front, 19 by 10.5 luster stiff tween rear. It's proven to work, looks fantastic, and won't require major modifications. Run 255, 35, and 2855 35 tires if you want performance, or stretch them slightly for easier clearance. Add coilovers or springs to eliminate wheel gap, and you've got a killer setup that you can daily drive and occasionally track. Remember the key numbers. 5x1 14.3 bolt pattern, 66.9 hub bore, M12 at 1.25 lugs. Maximum no modification sizes are roughly 10.5 inches wide front, 11 inches rear. Roll your fenders and you can go wider. Every inch you lower gains negative camber. Use it to your advantage. Quality matters in wheels, tires, and suspension. And when in doubt, consult the experts. There you have it. Everything you need to know about 370Z wheel fitment. Drop a comment with your current setup or what you're planning to run. Hit subscribe for more deep dives into Z modifications. And if you're ready to pull the trigger on wheels, check out threepiece.us. Tell them I sent you. Until next time, keep those Z's looking proper.